There are an estimated 47 million of them. You probably know 3. By the end, you will know whether you are one. You're born as a perfectly normal person who could have enjoyed any sport. You could have liked baseball. You could have liked hockey. You could have liked curling. You do not like curling. You were born in 1996. You grow up vaguely aware of cars driving in circles somewhere in Europe. You think Ferrari is just a cool red car. You think McLaren is a speaker company. Your destiny is dormant. It awaits a single streaming service algorithm. Your childhood is unremarkable. You watch Pixar's Cars. You root for Lightning McQueen. You believe the Piston Cup is a real trophy. Your dad tries to get you into NASCAR. You say it's boring. He asks why. You cannot articulate why. You just feel it in your soul. At age 9, you build a soapbox derby car. You paint it silver. You tell your friends it's the Mercedes W10. Your friends are 9. They do not know what the Mercedes W10 is. Neither do you. You lose the race. You claim your tires were grained. Your mom, a nurse, asks what that means. You tell her she wouldn't understand. In 7th grade, a classmate mentions Formula 1. You ask if it's like Formula E. You have never seen Formula E, you just heard the name once. The classmate whose uncle works at an auto parts store says it's different. You nod like you understand the technical regulations. You go home and type fast car race into Google. The algorithm suggests a Wikipedia page. You read 3 sentences. You close the tab. The seed is planted. It will not grow for another decade. It lies fallow, waiting for the perfect conditions of global pandemic and premium subscription content. And just like that, you reach the most insufferable period of being an F1 new fan. You're a teenage F1 new fan. It is March 2020. You are stuck inside. You have exhausted Tiger King. You have exhausted The Last Dance. Your Netflix recommendations are a barren wasteland. Then a thumbnail appeared. A man in a red helmet looks stern. The text reads Drive to Survive Season 2. You click, your life changes. You binge all 8 episodes in one sitting. You now have opinions. Strong opinions. You have never seen a race. You emerge from your room a different person. You tell your family that Gunther Steiner is a management genius. Your sister asks who that is. You say he's the team principal for Haas. She asks what a team principal does. You say it's like a CEO but for a race team. She asks what Haas is. You say it's an American team. She asks if they're good. You pause. You do not know. The documentary made it seem like they were plucky underdogs. You later learn they have not scored a point in 2 years. This does not dampen your enthusiasm. You join Twitter. You follow every F1 journalist, insider, and parody account. Your feed is now 60% tire compound speculation, 30% driver transfer rumors, and 10% people arguing in Dutch. You learn the term DTS fan as an insult. You take it personally. You vow to become a real fan. Your method is to absorb terminology at a rapid, surface-level rate. You call your slow internet a Williams strategy. You describe a messy room as looking like a Ferrari pit stop. Nobody gets the reference. Everyone is annoyed. You buy your first piece of merch. It is a bright orange McLaren hoodie. You wear it to school every day for a month. You have never watched Lando Norris race. You know his face from meme compilations on YouTube. You learn there are 23 races in a season. You commit to watching all of them. You set alarms for 5 a.m. on Sunday. You watch the first 2 laps of the Bahrain Grand Prix. You fall asleep by lap 7. You wake up to see Max Verstappen won. You tweet, knew it. You did not know it. And then you become an adult with the new fan genes in full bloom. You are 24, you have a job in digital marketing, you bring F1 into everything. Client meeting runs long, you call it a 3-stop strategy that didn't pay off. Your boss asks for a project update. You say we're in the midfield fighting for P7. Your boss who golfs asks what P7 means. You explain it's 7th place. He asks why you didn't just say 7th place. You say it lacks the authenticity of the sport. He schedules a one-on-one. You try dating. Your Hinge prompt reads, looking for my number 2 driver, must be okay with team orders. You get one match. It's with a woman who thinks you're talking about a driving school. The date is at an Applebee's. You spend 47 minutes explaining the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix controversy. You use napkins to draw track layouts. You explain safety car procedures. You mention Michael Massey by name 13 times. She asks for the check after the second mozzarella stick. You consider this a victory. You have 0 matches. You have peace of mind. Subscribe so you can keep crying about people you've definitely met. You plan a trip. You want to go to a Grand Prix. You research flights to Monaco. You realize you cannot afford Monaco. You look at Miami. You cannot afford Miami. You settle for watching the race at a sports bar in Cincinnati. You wear your Alpine team shirt. You ask the bartender to put on Sky Sports F1. The bar has NBC Sports. You get a pirated stream on your phone. The stream buffers every 30 seconds. You complain about the latency. A man in a Bengals jersey tells you to shut up. You tell him his team's offensive line has less downforce than a Williams. He does not react. Your entire personality calcifies around a sport you've only followed for 3 seasons. You refer to anything before 2019 as the hybrid era as if you were there. You get into an online argument about whether Ayrton Senna or Michael Schumacher was the GOAT. You have seen 3 highlight clips of each. You write a 4-thread tweet citing racecraft and wet weather prowess. An account with a Brazilian flag replies calling you a Netflix casual. You block them. You feel a hollow victory. Comment DTS made me do it below if this is hitting too close to home. You decide to get serious. You buy a Logitech steering wheel and pedal set. You install the F1 video game. You practice for 2 weeks. You join an online league. Your qualifying time is 3 seconds off the pace. You are lapped twice in the race. You blame your setup. You spend 6 hours watching YouTube tutorials on differential settings. You make it more confusing. You rage quit after being taken out in turn 1 by a driver from Finland. You sell the wheel on Facebook Marketplace for a 70% loss. You tell the buyer it's race ready. It is not. You become the expert among your friends who know less than you. You host viewing parties. You provide commentary. You mispronounce Esteban Ocon 4 different ways in one afternoon. You explain DRS as the magic speed button. A friend asks why they don't just have the magic speed button on all the time. You say it's for the spectacle. He nods. He is humoring you. You buy a case of Heineken because it's a sponsor. You do not like Heineken. You drink 4 of them. You spend the second half of the race explaining why your favorite driver is not actually underperforming. It's the car. Your commitment peaks. You subscribe to F1 TV Pro. You pay $129 per year. You watch every practice session, every qualifying, every race. You learn about tire DEG, undercut strategies, and porpoising. You use these words incorrectly at work. You tell your project manager the timeline is experiencing front wing flutter. She asks you to submit a written status report. You write it in bullet points labeled Lap 1, Lap 2. She forwards it to HR. You are asked to attend a mandatory communication workshop. You consider this a strategic penalty. You attempt to join a real-life community. You find a local F1 fan club on Meetup. The meeting is at a pub. You arrive in your team gear. The other 8 members are men in their 50s who have been following the sport since the 1980s. They are discussing ground effect aerodynamics and the political machinations of the FIA in 1994. You try to contribute by saying Chico is such a legend. They stop talking and look at you. One of them asks if you think the current cars are too heavy. You say you don't know. The conversation resumes without you. You finish your drink and leave. Years pass. You are 34. The shine wears off. Drive to Survive is on season 12. The storylines feel manufactured. You realize you've been watching a reality show about a sport, not the sport itself. You try to watch a full race without the dramatic music and cutaways to crying team principals. It feels slow. You check your phone during pit windows. You miss an overtake because you were scrolling through TripAdvisor reviews for a restaurant you will never visit. A tiny part of you wonders if you ever really liked the racing or just the narrative. Your decline is gradual. You stop waking up at 5 a.m. for Australian Grand's PRIX. You start reading the race summary on the BBC Sport website. You unsubscribe from 8 F1 Twitter account. Your feed clears up. You see posts about politics, local news, your cousin's baby. It feels alien. You keep your McLaren hoodie. It's faded now, the orange more of a peach. You wear it to mow the lawn. A neighbor asks if you're still into those car races. You say a little. You don't mention the new season starting. You don't know when it starts. You attempt one last grand gesture. You buy tickets to the Las Vegas Grand Prix. It costs $2,400. You go, it is cold. The race starts at 10 p.m. local time. You are jet lagged. You cannot see the track from your grandstand seat. You watch most of the action on the giant screen. You pay $28 for a hot dog. You realize you are surrounded by 40,000 other people who had the same idea at the same time. The person next to you asks who your favorite driver is. You say you used to like Ricciardo. You use the past tense. Your legacy is a digital footprint. 1,000 tweets full of incorrect predictions and heated defenses of drivers who never knew your name. A LinkedIn post comparing project management to race strategy that got one like from a former colleague. A Notes app list of sleeper picks for the 2023 season that is 100% wrong. The final beat is not dramatic. You are at a Super Bowl party. Someone mentions a cool car commercial. You say nothing. The conversation moves to chicken wing recipes. You have found peace. You are cured. Tag someone who bought a team polo after watching one season. They need to hear this. All jokes aside, these are exaggerations. Internet caricatures born on social media and spread like wildfire. Yes, the sudden influx of new fans into a niche sport is real, but turning Drive to Survive fans into a universal punchline reduces real people to a single stereotype. Most new fans are just people discovering a complex, exciting sport through the most accessible door available to them. Behind every meme is a real person doing their best to learn the rules, pick a team, and find community in a new interest. So laugh at the absurdity of the overeager convert, but remember that every lifelong fan was a new fan once, and gatekeeping is a far worse look than not knowing what a safety car is.